Good morning. Good morning, Representative Cicilline, Senator Reed, and Council President Rodericks, who spoke so eloquently about libraries. It's truly a pleasure for me to be here this morning for the groundbreaking of this very long-awaited library. And on behalf of the state of Rhode Island, I'd like to congratulate Barbara Donnelly and the Board of Trustees and Lee Hoyer and the Library Building Committee for their vision and their persistence in making the dream of a new library become a reality here in Tiverton. This is actually the 92nd library to be reimbursed through the state's Public Library Construction Reimbursement Program, which since 1965 has invested over $60 million in new and renovated library buildings in the state of Rhode Island. However, this is the first time that Tiverton has received funding for a library building. And I'm happy to say that the grant of $4 million that Barbara mentioned is the largest grant in the history of the program. I'd also like to congratulate the Capital Campaign Committee for their efforts in securing federal funding, and the grants from the private trusts, and their efforts in getting the support of the community, as well as the town of Tiverton for its support. And finally, the voters of Tiverton, who agreed that this town really deserved a new library, and you approved a $7 million bond in 2011. In the 14 years that I've been working on construction reimbursement projects across the state of Rhode Island, I've worked on 22 projects. I've not seen such a diverse array of funding or such wide-ranging financial support as I've seen here in this town. So you all deserve congratulations on that. And I guess that's not surprising in Tiverton, because the Essex Library was established through the vision of a resident of your community, Lydia Essex, who contributed in the same way. She contributed the money for the building you currently inhabit. But at some point, I believe Barbara mentioned, back in the 1980s, you realized that this building no longer served a growing community like Tiverton. And in 2001, again, as Barbara mentioned, Lisa Walling submitted an application for construction reimbursement funding from the state. And since that time, you have kept me company in my office, on my shelf, sometimes on my desk. Sometimes we've run into a few impediments along the way, but through it all, the trustees, the friends, and all the people in the community who support the library have believed in the dream of a new library. And we've gone a lot of places. This was one of the first projects that was featured in a Library Design Institute, a nationwide institute that met in Chicago. This project was selected. I went with Kathy Ryan, Director Cheryl Abdullah at the time, and some members of the Board of Trustees, and we showcased the project to people from across the country and showed what Tiverton was doing in terms of bringing together community to support to build a new library for this town. And that was just a wonderful experience. As we move forward through the countless work of countless individuals, the library will combine the best of the old and the best of the new. Now, I can't speak as eloquently as Council President Rodericks did about the needs of the library and what that will do for your community, but I want you all to remember that while it will still be a place to read the newspaper or find a book in more comfortable and spacious surroundings, of course, it will also be your gateway to all the libraries of Rhode Island. Through your library card, you have access to every single public library in Rhode Island, to the academic libraries, to the school libraries, to the network that the state coordinates. So your one library card gets you into all these libraries, over 200 libraries in the state. But libraries today, of course, are more than a place to find books. It's a place where young and old can come for programs, a place where people can use computers to expand their skills, find a job, or to apply for affordable health care. It's a place where you can learn how to use computers and digital tools to create things. It's also a place where you can connect with people in your community about things that are important to you, and to do things that you enjoy, whether it's creating a movie, using digital tools, or just simply sitting and creating something with your hands, like a scrapbook or a puppet. As Council President Rodericks said, today's library is the heart of the community. It connects you with your community, and it connects you with the world. No two libraries are the same, and it's my great privilege to be able to see the many ways that libraries serve their communities around the state. I know when this library opens in a year and a half, you will marvel not only at the building itself, but at what goes on in the building, what you can learn here, and what you can do here, and who you will meet here. Again, my most sincere congratulations to the trustees, the building committee, the friends, and the fantastic staff of the Tiverton Library under the leadership of Van Grealish-Rust, who've worked so hard to make this day happen. And I can't wait to join you when we actually open the doors of the library.